welcome to this topic on isometric 3D. Now for our purposes in PowerPoint, we won't worry about the mathematical terms or the degrees of the angles, which are 120 degrees running parallel to one another. We won't worry about any of that. For our purposes, all we really need to know is just how to draw it in PowerPoint. Now, I like isometric 3D because of all the forms of 3D that we work with, this is by far the easiest. And in fact, as we do some of the exercises later, you'll begin to generally see a pattern emerging where we just really need to implement the shape, put it into a preset, and then add the depth. And of course, if you want more complex models, that simply means just more shapes. So just to give you a quick look at how it's put together, let's look at our shape first. Now, just remember, any 3D model starts life in 2D. But once you've got that 2D shape down, then we need to scale it down to size. Now, you can draw your models nice and big in 2D because it does allow you to get the details inside of there, and you can work with shapes more easily. But things like bevel and depth do not scale if you make your model bigger or smaller. So it's very important you scale it down to the correct size before you go to 3D. From there, because we're working with isometric, you just need to click on a preset. In fact, you won't need to rotate it. And I often say to people, if you're working in isometric and you're rotating things, you've probably gone wrong. So we just need that preset and then add the depth. And that is it. You have your 3D isometric model already. And from there, you can start to build all kinds of 3D isometric models. Let's just take a quick look at a couple of quick examples of how we would use it and where we would use it. In fact, for isometric models in general, we tend to use them more for technical drawings, such as in engineering. Another common place that we tend to see these kind of isometric models for those of you in IT will be for technology architecture or network diagrams. And throughout the years, I've done many of these myself. And in fact, we're going to be doing these as a couple of examples, and we'll do two versions of this. Lastly, we may see some of these kind of models if we need to do kind of urban type of diagrams or geographic kind of models where we need to show the different layers. And we can see one as an example here. But the best place to start our isometric journey is really starting off with the classic isometric technical drawing or technical diagram. So we are going to do two versions. We will do a solid kind of fill colored version, but we're going to start off by drawing the contour line version first, because I realize a lot of people's branding does feature this, but they just don't know how to get the contours done correctly. So I'll show you a few kind of quick setting changes that you can make to your 3D format, but can have some very nice contour line diagrams. So the one that we're going to start off with for our very first exercise is this one here. So it's a nice way to introduce you to isometric, but we're also going to do a nice isometric contour line diagram. So this is the exercise that we're going to start with first. And of course, we have many more isometric exercises coming up to showcase a little bit more of what we can do and the bandwidth of isometric formatting and sculpting. Well, with that said, let's get started and get to this very first isometric model just to show you the mechanics of isometric 3D.